Welcome to our Select Board meeting of December 23rd, 2024, 5 p.m. on Monday. And we'll have to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, did everybody have a chance to look at the minutes?
Yep, I did, yep.
All right, so Colt and I already signed them, so we have a motion to...
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written for 11:25 and 12:16.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we got to review the third quarter tax rate for the sewer commitment. So December 23rd, 2024, at their Board of Selectmen meeting, the Select Board, acting as the Town Sewer Commission's motion to approve the FY25 third quarter sewer commitment. The sewer is $101,234.37. The water is $3,020, which totals $104,254.37. Make a motion.
Make a motion to approve the third quarter fiscal year 2025 water and sewer commitment. Bill.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, the ARPA funds, we finally got some good news. I've been down with Carl last week, and it was very difficult going through the federal government websites. They didn't have people you could talk to. They're sending emails to do this, do that, and he was doing everything, and it just wasn't good. So we ended up going to Congressman Neal's office, and that took time, and he ended up being deferred to Matthew, who had a split screen with him last Thursday. We were together, and Matthew agreed. He said, no, there's something definitely wrong. It's not your fault. So the good news was Matthew even said, if we can't get this, I'll try to see what I can do to get it deferred, the deadline, which was good. Okay. But anyway, Matthew ended up talking to somebody at the federal government. They sent an email over the weekend, actually I think it was Friday night or whatever, and Carl followed their instructions and he could not get in this morning. I said, oh my gosh. But he's just sent me an email a couple hours ago saying that he was able to work through it. He would talk to somebody and he was able to encumber the funds for this. I'm not sure at this point, because I hadn't talked to him, exactly what they're encumbered for. I know at one time we were talking about the generator for here, so he may have encumbered them for a certain thing, but that's okay, as long as, in my opinion, as long as we get the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we don't miss the deadline, that's just my fear. I know we have to cover, I just don't know what the generator, do we know what those bids are coming in at, or I know we were getting rough estimates at one point.
I think we had about 24,000
It was a
left.
23 and change.
And it might have been even a little more than that, but whatever,
The one thing I did see in the email was there was a reference, I think, to April 1st or April 20th. Was that just for the notification, or so were we given?
I'm not sure.
That's what I did notice that.
I did see something like that, like the next reporting was, like you had to report it by April, but I didn't know if like we have to.
Yeah, I'm sure we do. I think a lot of these grants, and I looked, there's, I got 9 questions I'm gonna ask.
Okay, actually, Bob, I got it right here. So the remaining funds to be obligated is listed at $23,207.48. They have not been obligated to projects yet. You can add another one and do the same, but add both the obligations and expenditure under the expenditures over $50,000. Or wait until the next report is released on 4/1/2025.
Yeah, I'm finding all these grants, there's like 3 grants that we have going.
Actually, that gives us our answer right there. All funds must be obligated to project by the next reporting deadline of 4/20/2025.
Okay.
This report for the 2024 does not need to be submitted with that, what has been documented to be in compliance, however.
Okay. So I know quarterly, for all grants quarterly, we have to fill out paperwork and see where we are. And there are, I'm a little nervous. I'm hoping we can get somebody in here, because January 9th, there's 2 Zoom meetings on 2 grants. We got one for the master plan and one for, might be Briggsville Water District. But there are Zoom meetings giving us directions and how we have to do everything. So I certainly will go to them, but I'm hoping that we possibly can have somebody else go with us and zoom in or whatever, because they're not easy, you know? You get the grants and they're like, Carl told me a long time ago, he says, you know, there's a lot to, after you get the grant, it's not over, that you gotta every quarter fill these things out, keep track of every penny and do everything, so it's, there's a lot out there. But anyway, that's good news. Status of the school roof. I got an email from Kristen Lecco from the governor's office, and she said since we don't really have a clear direction, that she's going to wait till after the holidays. She's hoping that we can meet and try to decide if what our plan is for the school. So I contacted John Franzoni, and my opinion is, because I don't want to delay this any longer, because like I said, we missed last year because we had a mix-up with getting back to the government. I thought when they have their next school committee meeting, which I think is going to be the 9th of January, we could have a joint selectmen, finance committee, school committee meeting. Where I'll be there, discuss everything, the school union will be there, and we'll just again, we don't even all have to agree pretty much, but we do have to decide what direction we want to go through at this point, to give her some advice, because, you know, she can't go for one thing and then have us change our mind or whatever, so we gotta make a decision there. So if that's okay with you all.
Yeah, I'm good with that meeting.
So
It's a good course of action to
All right.
get someone on a plan like
And
that.
just an update, I'm right around the school roof repairs.
Yeah.
Last week I called a local roofing company. Next day he came right up to the school to look at and see if there's anything that can be done in the short term
Yeah.
to just try to ease the leaks, I guess you could say. And I went up there and took a look at it with them, and unfortunately there's nothing we can do in the meantime. Like, there's no visible holes in the roof. You know, nothing that looks like, oh, we can just patch that and this will fix it.
Well, I did also, I followed up with what went on there. My best understanding was there was actually like an ice buildup. I don't know if it's gutters or where it was draining out, and it puddled up there and actually came through a vent. So it wasn't really a leak in the roof, it came through a vent.
Well, that was on the backside though, kind of down
Okay.
off the cafeteria, the maintenance, one of the maintenance rooms. Because when I walked through with Principal Cody, she had kind of explained it was in that location, and that issue was from that location. But the classrooms on, you know, the immediate wing as you walk in the building, that was a separate issue.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where he got up and looked at, because the spot you're talking about where it's going down through the pipe, that's on the gymnasium part of it,
Correct,
which is
yeah.
a taller part of the building. He was looking at kind of the main classroom part to kind of see what could be done there, and I know
Yeah.
he says it's very spongy up there. You know, definitely need to do something in the.
We had an
some
engineer, look, you know, 7 years ago, when we knew that was the only course of action, because we weren't gonna get a new school, the engineer said, you got like 5 years, and that's why Adam Hines put it in. He actually wrote it into the capital thing that it's an emergency roof repair. So he considered it an emergency back then, but we just haven't been able to get together. And finally, the state is recognizing us, which is the important thing, but we got to be clear exactly what we're going in the short term, and then we'll figure it out long term or whatever.
And he did say the only option that could be done is you put like a sealant over the roof that helps kind of, you know, keep anything from intruding in, and but that would have to be done in the summertime. So I guess we'll just kind of revisit spring or summer and see how much longer we need to get out of the roof at that point, and then we could put that out to bed. But that was his only recommendation of what could be done, but can't be done now.
All right, and we can, again, we'll discuss all this with a joint meeting and see what everybody thinks, see if we can come up with an agreement. Okay, next, I'd like to discuss, make a motion and possibly appoint a new town administrator. I don't know, I thought carefully about the candidates, and I can start, or if anybody wants to start.
Yeah, you're the chair.
All right, I think it's a tough decision. I do, like Ron, always got a good with Ron, but I really feel that Brianna will be able to step in with the grants, which is a big issue for the town of Clarksburg. And I really feel somebody that's a go-getter, that has a good attitude, you're gonna be able to learn the job. It may take her longer than somebody like Ron maybe could come in and you know, get up to speed a little quicker. But I think in the long run, I really feel Brianna would be the better choice. I think she has good computer skills. She also, like I say, has worked with grants, and I think she'll be able to do it. So, again, after a hard decision, I like both of them, but I'm definitely going to put my vote in for Brianna. Colton, you want to go next, or Dan?
Yeah, better, Danny can go. I can go
You know,
first.
Ron and Brian are both, my two finalists. They both have strong qualities that'd be a benefit to the town. I think, Brianna's education, grant writing skills would be a great asset. Ron has experience in how the town runs, and, I feel like he has connections with the higher up politicians that would definitely be a great asset to the town. I think they're both capable of handling the job and doing it well. I kind of really thought about this long and hard today, even kind of made, checklist of, who fills what bill, and, they both have great qualities. I do feel Ron's previous experience in the, Northampton City Council, previous seat on the Select Board, Clarksburg Finance Committee, the Planning Board, and he also did fill in as a town administrator previously, which I feel kind of gives him a little bit of a leg up on this. But, I feel he may be a better fit because of that previous experience. But I would like to try to, bring Brianna in, maybe two at some point for grant writing. But I think they both could do it well.
So I think kind of echoing similar points, I think, to both. I was very, very impressed with Brianna's, interview. Plus, she was very thorough. Like you said, I think her grant writing ability is definitely a quality, I think, that will be beneficial to the town. Well, I think you can try to draw some comparisons, and I think it's a fairly obvious, is Ron's knowledge and I think experience of obviously local and state government. He's got, I think, wealth of experience across the board from the city of North Adams, like you said, Dan, to the town of Clarksburg. I think with the challenging times and situations ahead for the town, I think it's a good time to basically lean on some experience, lean on, past practice. Not to say that down the road, I don't think Brianna would be a bad option. I think to see her maybe get involved in, maybe one of the boards, or to start serving in some form or function within Clarksburg town government to gain some of that experience, maybe get a little more familiar with, some of the processes. I think she'd obviously, be a good option down the road, but that obviously comes with time. So overall, like you said, Dan, I think Ron's experience with, our elected officials, on the state level and, federal level, I think is going to be a huge leg up for us. I think kind of reestablishes Clarksburg as open and willing to work with the state officials for all kinds of assistance, obviously, across the board. I know he's got a great relationship with State Rep Barrett, and obviously State Senator Mark, and obviously our federal officials with Congressman Neal and so forth. I just think at this time, I think Ron's the best option, safest option for us to move forward. But I don't want to diminish Brianna's capabilities. I think, like I said, down the road with some more experience under her belt, I think she could be heavily involved in, Clarksburg town government.
No, and the only thing I'll just add, I do think long-term, Brianna would be better, of course. Also, the grants it's somebody that's got to be in the grant writing that knows what they're doing and been involved in this in order to get these. I just feel everything else can be learned, and I think she doesn't have any baggage at all. She gets along with everybody, and I just feel that she can pick up the job quick. And knowing the politicians is one thing, but there's only so much out there. I mean, the politicians, it's like because you're a politician doesn't mean you're going to get these grants. You've got to be able to go around.
I'll say from personal experience, during my day job, I think the better relationships you have, because let's be honest, at the end of the day, unfortunately, the relationships you have sometimes give you a leg up when it comes to the State House, when it comes to, obviously the federal government. You have to be kind of front and center, in line, ready to go. I think Ron obviously has that. Like I said, I don't think that it limits. I think where Brianna's strong, it's hard to draw, I think, a direct comparison between the two of them, but I think where Ron really excels is where Brianna I think it would take a decent amount of time for her to kind of adjust and roll into that aspect. Now, on the grant writing side, yes, I think that, she probably has, and she does have more experience on the grant writing side, but at the same time, the town administrator position, to me, is really to represent us as the board and represent the town as a whole. Management-wise, I think Ron probably has and does have more experience, I think, on that aspect. Not to say Brianna couldn't manage, I think, departmentally, within here, within the office, but I think, like I said, I think we have some very big questions that need to be answered with the school. I think overall financial health of the town, to what our future is going to look like, I think, in the next 5 years. I have made this pretty clear. I think we're somewhat at a crossroads of the direction the town's going to take and where we go next. I just feel strongly at this point, I think Ron's the the person to guide us through these difficult waters we're about to encroach on.
Okay, I don't need to repeat myself, but I look at working with Carl this last couple weeks. It is amazing the amount of work that is done in that office. Somebody's got to put their nose at a grindstone, and it's not all about being being a salesman. It's about doing the work here, and I just felt Brianna would have an edge with that. Plus, her age, she's more long-term. She'll be here, so we don't have to go through this again in a couple more years. But that's it. So Dan, you want to say anything else?
I think you both have great points on it. I mean, agreeing with both sides, I guess you could say. I do feel like the only leg up that she kind of has is in the grant writing, and I would like to try to see us work that position into maybe delegating some of the grant writing off to her or someone like her, bring them in, kind of whether we have to, I don't want to say restructure a little bit some of the town administrator duties. If someone does something well, let them handle that.
Yep.
I
think that's a perfect opportunity for her to really start to get involved. Obviously, her, myself, and Seth had run for select board this year. It was, the three of us, kind of our first, introduction to local town politics. I think she's eager to be involved. I think it would be beneficial for us, I think, to tap into that potential, to get her into the loop. Who knows? I think realistically, like I said, I don't think Ron's here for a long haul, but I think his effectiveness is going to be over the next, 3 to 5 years. Who's to say that Brianna isn't involved here? She kind of gets, somewhat of an inside look, and, down the road when, the opportunity is available again, she'll have that experience underneath her belt, and I think would make her really at that point a completely rounded candidate that I think would fit all the, requirements that we're looking for.
I agree. I do feel like with Ron's previously being on the select board, the finance committee, and he has a better understanding of how our government works up here, and he knows what the select board's looking for out of a town administrator because he's sat in this seat. Mm-hmm. And that's honestly probably one of my bigger selling points is of him having that previous experience. And I do think he will be I want to say, a great leader and an aggressive leader. And, I know there's been a couple of things in the past, but, I mean, it was...
Everybody's management style is different, that's all.
Okay, want to make a motion?
Dan, you want to do it? I can do it. Doesn't matter to me.
I'll make a motion to enter into contract negotiations with Ron Boucher. Is that how we should properly word that? I'm not Because we're not really appointing them, because we have to still figure out the contract.
Yes, that's fine, the way you said it.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so I'll restart that. I'll make a
Okay.
motion to enter in the contract negotiations with Ron Boucher.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, are there any public comments? Hearing.
I'm sorry, not to cut you off before we kind of get any further, but do we want to discuss what we're thinking about offering and contract-wise, or is that for another meeting? No? Okay.
Well, we certainly can discuss it, because we do have on and we want to appoint him, so we can discuss that. What do you have in mind
What's your thoughts on that?
Can you do negotiations?
without him?
Yeah, and is, you're negotiating, does that have to be an executive session? You're negotiating a contract. I don't know, a little touchy.
I just, my thought was we were trying to make a plan of what to, make sure we're all on the same page of what to offer, unless we need to do that in executive session, which,
I don't know.
that's fine, we can plan.
Well,
on
this
it.
is what I'll say to that. I think during our discussions to post the position, I think we had discussed strongly about the increase in salary from the existing structure that is currently stated. I think there was a range that we had discussed, they were between that 72 to 75,000, depending on experience. I think it gives us a starting off point. I can't imagine the negotiation is going to take fairly long, because I think all applicants were, I think, pretty well notified and kind of up to speed on what the compensation was going to, entail. So I think we've got a pretty good idea how that'll go.
I think so too. Also, we do have the standard agreement for the town administrator, which the only issues that I saw with it was the pay and the amount of hours worked. We wanted to make sure it was 35, so they had hours to go to meetings and stuff. So I do think it's pretty much just going over that agreement, negotiating a salary, and then moving on. My only issue is I'd like to do this as soon as possible because of those meetings that are coming up
Yeah.
in January.
So when did you say those meetings were?
January 9th, there's two of them on the same day, one
So
with another.
if I do recall correctly, I think when Ron was here for his interview, he had stated he was going to be unavailable, I think the last week of December, first week of January, he was going to be on vacation out of town, but he would be available to start on January 6th.
So we would have to get a hold of him, and I don't know if we want to have a meeting with, of course, if we have it now, it'd have to be Thursday in order to get it posted. See if maybe Ron could come in Thursday, we discuss it with him, or what do you think?
Yeah, because otherwise we're looking at what, next Monday?
Yeah, it's day after Christmas, Thursday.
I can make that work if we need to.
My wife's going to kill me, but.
I don't-
Are you guys opposed to next Monday to just base, because I'll be honest, this week I think for most people it's going to be kind of.
I am I'm out of town Monday and Tuesday of.
Okay.
And Ron might
Next
be,
week.
right? You said Ron might be.
Yeah, actually,
on
right,
these two,
Ron, yeah.
So,
Wednesday doesn't count.
Well,
I don't think so.
I think that'd be the only time.
Does it have to be 48?
48 hours, because Wednesday is a
doesn't count,
holiday.
right? Yeah, so we won't even have time. Do we? Well, do we have to meet in person, or? I don't know what the hybrid option is.
We
I know-
can't,
I know
we
we're
can't
very-
meet
I know we're
with,
very hybrid friendly.
yeah, and it would violate the open meeting law, if we,
Well, not
So-
if we did Zoom. The state still allows for Zoom meetings. The hybrid
Yeah, my
option is
only
still
option
available.
would be possibly Monday morning.
how about Friday? No, we aren't open Friday, but we could post a meeting and have it for Friday, and maybe Ron could come in and we just come in and have a quick negotiation, see if he would settle on anything.
I can make that work.
I'll make Friday work, because, yeah, we really need to have this kind of set and done.
If you have someone to do the minutes though, because I'm in Williamsburg on Fridays.
Yeah,
Are you looking to televise that?
I think it's gonna be short.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah,
Time is.
It'll probably be executive
so
session.
we'll
if
be
it's
executive
contract
session,
negotiation.
so we won't be televising it.
Okay.
So,
What time?
What time you guys want to do? Earlier the better.
would you want to give Ron a call?
Yeah, I could actually see if he's gonna be available.
And maybe we can settle on it right now and get it posted.
Well,
I can do the minutes for her. I can fill in. Michelle.
All
right, thank you,
I
Marilyn.
Appreciate that, Marilyn. I know it's a bad time here, but time is definitely of the essence.
I've been on those
here's my
type of
question.
restraints
If he-
before.
Hey, you got a minute? Would this violate open meeting if we did this on speakerphone or not? Are you ready, would you be open and willing to negotiate right now or not?
So just set him to time for Friday.
Or-
Set time for
or-
Friday.
or-
I
or-
can't negotiate
Yeah.
now.
And it could be any time Friday.
Okay, what time Friday? What time do you guys wanna do?
I'm flexible. I'm working, but I can sneak out of work anytime.
Earlier the better if we can do it.
How early?
9, 10 a.m.
What time works for you?
What time can you post it, Marilyn? Because you'd have to post it tomorrow morning,
Rochelle will have to post it first thing in the morning,
which is
8:30, so I would do it before 9 o'clock. You want to
You wanna
get
do 8:30 on Friday?
or not.
Nine.
Tell
We'll
them
just,
nine.
we'll just do.
Give her time to
Yeah,
post
we'll do
it.
9 o'clock Friday morning? Okay, we'll see you 9 o'clock Friday. All right, bye. Oh, the answer's that. I think we could've got a good deal if we negotiated now.
Any other public comments?
I don't know where the budget is gonna fall next year, but Brianna has a wonderful quality of doing the grants. And depending, I mean, we don't have the police department anymore, right? I don't know where the budget's gonna come, how much money we're gonna have. But possibly, if it works, you could bring her in, even if it was not on a full-time basis, get her feet in here,
I completely agree. I think
get
it's
her
a good
doing that,
opportunity.
and then my thought for that is, she'd also be in some ways shadowing the town administrator. So she would be learning from the town administrator, because she has to, I mean, it's hard if you don't have a mentor or someone you can follow. I mean, I was very fortunate, I had a wonderful mentor when I went into my position, but not everybody has that position, has that luxury that I had. So if she could get in here in some capacity,
Yep.
working on grants and working alongside with Ron, she'd be learning at the same time for future.
I agree. I think part of the conversation was Ron. I think he was pretty straightforward about this. That I feel the same way. He's a transitional candidate, I think, figure at this point, and it's, I think, fully understanding this isn't going to be something, like I said, he's going to be, 10, 15 years down the road.
Right.
I think it's a good opportunity. I think it's a good
I think it's,
way for us to transition to the future with still having, I think, that experience to fall back on. But I agree, Marilyn, 100%.
Yeah,
I think to get her involved would
if
be
you,
beneficial
if
for
you have the
everybody.
resources to do it, I think it's a great way, because you know that, Ron's not young, and she's a young person who's willing, and she could also help Ron too, at the same time, they could help each other.
Absolutely.
So I think if you could, figure out a way to even get her in here for 20 hours a week or something, or I don't know what the capacity would be, but
No,
something.
yeah, we'll have to talk to her because she does have a full-time job.
Right,
But, yeah, I mean, I agree.
A good grant writer pays their own way.
100%.
Yeah,
Nope,
so,
I agree.
something might be able to work out.
I agree.
No, I think it's a good opportunity for us to, I think, kind of change direction a little bit, change structure. I think kind of how we've been doing business for quite a while, kind of transitions to the future and kind of opens up some other opportunities.
Yeah, and that's the trouble in municipal government. You have all that institutional knowledge that's there for years, and they leave, and there's no one. So if you have an opportunity that you have a young person, male, female, whatever, to come in and give them that opportunity, I think that's where you should monopolize on right now.
Absolutely.
No, I make grants. That's kind of my thought too with this, because I do want to get her involved with this. I think she would be a great asset for the
Yeah.
town.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, she definitely has the ability, no doubt, and I think she would fit in well.
Yeah,
I do think in the immediate forefront with, obviously, if Ron officially accepts the, position and comes on board, we'd have a position open on the planning board that would need to be filled. I think to get her involved, I think Brianna would be an excellent choice to fill that position and, obviously see if she's interested, because that'll, I think, give her a little more, hands-on experience and really kind of see how the, local committees kind of operate. So, obviously, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but I think that's a good opportunity, a good, starting point for it.
Involved.
Absolutely. So,
Hey, is there anything else? Thank you, Marilyn, for those comments. All right, I say we adjourn the meeting at 5:30.
motion.
A motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.